Virgin Radio breakfast presenter Chris Evans has revealed he's been diagnosed with skin cancer after a masseuse noticed an unusual freckle on his leg. The star, who got the all clear after a prostate cancer scare in 2015, opened up about his ordeal on his Virgin Radio show this morning.
So I have tested positive for skin cancer, and obviously better news would have been that it would have been negative. But the reason it's great news is because they've caught it as early as they can, as early as is possible. And this has only happened because Dee, who gives the wonderful this angel sent from heaven, who gives me this massage every Friday, saw this freckle on my shin and said, "Just do me a favour, Chris, go and get that checked out." Do you remember I told you this before? And I didn't. And then the next week she said, "Have you been to see anyone?" I said, "Chris, you need to go. You just need to go." She said, "It's probably nothing, but you need to go. You know, I work with people's bodies all the time. That doesn't look like a normal freckle to me." Anyway, so whilst we were away, the email came through, and the email was, "Can you please call because we need to discuss your results," as opposed to "it's just all clear." Yeah. So I was sort of ready for something.
Evans went on to urge his listeners to get themselves checked. Esther, I think it's so important when people in the public eye do speak about these kinds of things, because it really does spur people on to get themselves tested, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I mean, I think it's very rare to have a man, come out and say openly. I mean, we hear about female celebrities all the time talking about when they've been diagnosed with breast cancer, for instance, and all sorts of horrible illnesses. But it's very rare, and I think it's because of the stereotype of men. It's very hard to get a man to go to the hospital. It's very hard to get a man to get a prostate exam. I don't know why. Anyway, but I think I appreciate the fact that he's so open and honest about it. And it really is one of those things that if you don't prime yourself mentally to know that if you have anything wrong or anything that's changed, you should get it checked. It's not something that will always occur to you. So it's nice to have this reminder, and I wish him a speedy recovery.
He said it in such a natural, calm way, sort of just almost a welcoming way. But actually, he had to be clearly sort of semi-nagged to go and just get it looked at and checked. And that's the reminder to all of us, isn't it? You think, oh, I haven't got time, I'm busy, I'm big and tough. But actually, just get it checked out.
But that's the point, isn't it? Though?
Yeah.
Which is sometimes somebody will give you some friendly advice. They'll say, look, you should do this, you should look at that. And then, of course, it's having those people who urge you to go and do it. But I think what the great thing about Chris, I see him most mornings, and we have a wave and things, and, he's a very sort of bubbly, effervescent personality. He's just back from his holes, and, it's always positivity wherever it is. But what we also know about Chris is that when there is something to be campaigned for, he is one of the most impressive fundraisers I have ever seen in terms of what he does, the events that he puts on, the causes that he champions, the things that he gets people to do, and also that he's extremely self-effacing about not only himself and how he looks after himself, but also those around him and the things that you can do for yourself. So, look, we obviously all wish him here a very speedy recovery, and, thank you for speaking up, because it will make other people think about it too.
Yeah, I think with men, and obviously I'm talking mainly to you two, and not the ladies here, for us, generally we're pushed to think about testicular cancer and prostate more so than anything else. And there's a huge increase in men getting those things checked out. But skin cancer, actually, it's something I don't really think about. I still wear sunblock when I go in the sun, but it's not something that's in the front of my mind of, oh, is that freckle? Was it here before or not? You just don't really think about it. So it's great that he's actually pushing attention on that now.
And we've got a problem, I think, in the UK, like in Australia, they're so used to the whole slip, slap, slop, wear a hat, puts on sun cream, but we don't think of it as much, and we really should. Like, I stopped going out in the sun and sun tanning a couple of years ago because I just realised, because I had a bit of a scare, I had part of my a mole removed. My mum had skin cancer, my dad, my granddad, all because of just pure exposure, all caught really early and all operated on, and everything's fine. But essentially, it was from exposure to UV rays, which is something you can protect yourself against if you just wear sunblock.
Yeah, and Chris is saying he's calling it stage 0 because they've caught it so early.
Yeah.
So, with any hope and fingers crossed, he'll be absolutely fine.
And that's the encouraging thing. If you do it early, and if you've got a concern, get it checked rather than sort of just keep pushing on because you think you can, because it's not going to happen to you. Yeah. And that's the key lesson out of this.
Absolutely.
And I'm one of the worst of it. I say, oh, it's just a thing. It's not me, and
yeah.
And we all do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.